Welcome back. Chinese New Year isn't just a festive season for many, it's also a time when renewed relationships are a priority, as well as respect is shown to the elders, and business ties are strengthened across Asia and beyond. Cultural understanding can make a real difference when it comes to professional settings. So today we're looking at some practical do's and don'ts when doing business during the Chinese New Year period, and how small gestures can leave a lasting impression. Well, joining me in the studio today is Dr. Chi Ming Tan, Assistant Professor of Business Economics at the Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Nottingham, Malaysia. Doctor, welcome. And first things first, Happy Chinese New Year to you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for taking out time to be with us here today, and of course, giving us a little insight to some practical do's and don'ts during this auspicious time. So is it appropriate to talk business at the table when you're with family or friends? Is it a good time to fix a meeting with a business associate that might be in town for whatever reason? Or should the focus always only be on relationships and, prosperity and the plans for the future?
There's definitely nothing wrong with fixing business meetings as long as you're not really talking about business. So you can actually talk about things with your business partners. You can actually talk about family. You can talk about how things are, whatever it may be. But you don't want to go into liabilities. You don't want to go into debt. You don't want to talk about things that might be perceived as inauspicious. Mm-hmm. So you want to avoid all the details that's actually coming in. In some sense, you want to close your laptop and you want to open your heart during that period. So you're actually trying to connect. So it's all about connecting with people, not so much about counting beans or talking about details that might actually get people riled up. Mm-hmm. So the whole point about the Chinese New Year is that you want to set a tone for the coming year. And the first day itself is very important for that. Whatever you say, whatever you do, the thoughts would be a preamble to what would actually come in the near future.
And what a nice way for that practice also to be adopted by the rest of us, because it is a great way and a good reminder that we can reset and restart the year on an auspicious and positive note. Right. How important is it that greetings and symbolic phrases are used when meeting with Chinese family members or even partners during this time of the year?
Well, like I said, on the first day itself sets the tone for the rest of the year. So you want to start off with something auspicious. You want to talk about things that are good, like 恭喜发财, which means may you prosper, or may you be wealthy. Or when you have business partners, you may say 生意兴隆, which means may your business prosper. Or very often, like what I just heard in the makeup studio upstairs, was 马到成功, which means success upon the arrival of the horse.
Oh, lovely.
So the horse is a very fast animal, and this year is the fire horse, so that makes the horse even doubly faster. So hopefully what that means is success will come, and it will come a lot faster than it usually does. Mm-hmm. So all these things set the tone for the future, and it's really, really important to take a look at.
Just weighing in on the fire horse or the double fire horse, what can we expect overall? I know you're not an astrologer or astronomer of sorts, but just with your, experience with this, what's the feel or the vibe for the Year of the Horse this year?
I mean, I can share a little bit about that. I feel that I'm a relatively fast-paced person, but going into the Year of the Horse, even before happening, I already feel like there's an urge to even move more, to sort of change things around, to set a different environment, to actually work harder than I usually do. So if you have to be very careful with the Year of the Horse and the fire horse, because if you're not careful, you might actually run too fast and you might actually burn out. So you want to sort of keep things cool. You want the pace to be relatively okay, not too fast, in order for you to actually keep up with the horse.
I like that. It's a good reminder for the rest of us as well that we can start out fast, but it's about that journey as well, not just getting to the end of the race. Now, are there any cultural taboos, like any do's and don'ts that we need to observe during this time, whether one is local, one is Malaysian, or one is a foreigner?
Don't give clocks or watches, because it means your time is up. And that's something you don't want to do. So the Chinese are a very taboo-driven culture. We have all these sort of traditions that we had in the past. So when you say, if I'm giving you a clock, it sounds like your time is up in this world. So you don't want that. You don't want shoes either, because shoes means rough. It means something that's actually graded. You don't want things like that. So you don't want a year to be rough, so don't give shoes, because shoes sound like rough in Chinese actually. And even scissors, because you don't want to give sharp objects because you're cutting ties. So especially when you're dealing with the Chinese community, the business community, that's the last thing you want to do. I want to cut ties with you. Let me give you scissors. That's probably the easiest way to tell them that you don't like them.
Right, and there's also a bit of some are reserved around the color black during this time. Even though black can be fashionable, but during this auspicious period, it is not quite welcomed.
Typically, it's not, because white and black are associated with funerary rites. If you're talking about the new year, you want to avoid these sort of things. That is the cultural taboo surrounding most people. So obviously, we need to be careful with the stuff we're actually wearing for Chinese New Year.
For someone new to the environment, what's the simplest way to show respect and build goodwill? For most of us, I think we understand the do's and don'ts and some of the customs surrounding Chinese New Year. You mentioned, not giving clocks. That's something we've grown up with. I didn't know it was particularly to the Chinese. I thought it was something we all practice, but good to know today. So what's the simplest way for one to show that amount of respect and to build goodwill during this time?
Chinese are a people that places a lot of importance on filial piety. So your seniors, people who are more elderly than you, have precedence over you. So when you're talking to people, when you're giving tea, when you're giving gifts, and even ang pao, for instance, you don't want to give that to people who are junior first. You want to start with the senior people, and you want to use both hands when you do that as a sign of respect. So these are some of the little taboos that a foreigner or a newcomer to the environment should actually observe. It's like you pour tea, you give food to the most elderly, and you go down the hierarchy. And then when you're doing it as a sign of respect, it's always both hands.
Nice. Now, you'll be joining us in a little bit on our next program, The Nation. What bigger themes about the Chinese diaspora and business will you be exploring in that conversation?
So, a little bit about the cultural heritage of the diaspora, its impact on local businesses and regional, international business, and a little bit about feng shui.
Very nice. See, you do have some knowledge around some of the
bit.
zodiac signs. I'll catch you after the show. But thank you so much, Doctor, for coming in today. Of course, despite being a celebration and one that, of course, you spend with family as well.
Right.
Well, we're taking a quick breather at this point. There'll be more coming up just right after this break, right here on Bernama World. Stay tuned. Well, before we end, we have a very special message for you from His Excellency Ouyang Eugene, the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the People's Republic of China to Malaysia, sharing his warm wishes for the Chinese New Year.
Today is the first day of the Chinese New Year on the Hawks. At this wonderful moment of the family reunion, with people farewell to the old and started to embrace the new. On behalf of the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Malaysia, I extended my warm New Year greetings and the best wishes to all our Malaysia friends and the Chinese nationals in Malaysia. Wish you good luck, happiness, and a great success in year 2026. May it be the high-level strategic China-Malaysia community with a shared future progress in bits and bounds in the year of the Hawks.
Well, that's all the time we have for now, as many around the world usher in Chinese New Year. It's a moment of fresh start and shared hopes for the year ahead. Well, that's it for this edition of Bernama World. On behalf of our producers, Shafika Samsuri and Fazlina Zawawi from our English programs team, and our intern Johan, who's on festive duty today, we'd like to thank you for spending your time with us. Kong Si Fa Chai. For the latest, do visit Bernama.com as well as follow us on our socials. This has been The World on Bernama TV. I'm Jessie Chahal. Thanks for watching.